Hi, I'm Christella from Fayi. In case you don't know, Fayi is Greek for food. So today I'm showing you how to make a mosaic roll. I'm going to get cooking and then show you and talk to you a little bit more about it once I get stuff started, because it does take a little bit of time and we have a bit more time to chat once I get it cooking. So I'm going to throw in some, I just got some like arrowroot biscuits that you can just chop up. You can use different types of like malt biscuits as well if you like. Let me just get all these into the bowl. And I'm just going to chop those ones up quickly. Okay, let me just see if they're chopped up enough. Beautiful. So I'll just show you that. That's just chopped up a little bit. And then I'm going to set that aside and put my other bowl on. And then I'm going to get the meringue on. So I'm using my butterfly and I'm just going to pop that onto my blades. Now it goes behind the hump and just click it in. So if you pull it up, it shouldn't be able to hop off. In case you didn't know or you're new to Thermomix. Now I am adding an egg, some egg whites, a pinch of salt and some sugar straight into the bowl. And I'm going to get that mixing for 1 minute. At 37 degrees. Speed 3.5, and take your measuring cup off. So if we say MC in our recipes, it means measuring cup. So now I can chat to you while that's on, because that's going to go for a minute. So sorry about a little bit of a rush in the beginning, but I think it's better that I talk while that's on, because it is a little bit of a long recipe, but really, really, really easy. So if you've never heard of this recipe before, it's called a mosaic or a chocolate salami, or there's lots of different names for it. Some people I think call it a hedgehog if it's in a tray, but this one we make like an actual salami, like a roll. So let me show you what it looks like at the end. So this is what it looks like. You can see why it's called mosaic. It's because you get that mosaic kind of pattern. It's like a chocolate log, literally. This one's just literally come out of the freezer, so I can show you what we're going to do with it. And I'll show you how to make the log. And then what I want to finish off with, if you're going to hang around with me, is how to present them beautifully if you want to take it just that little bit further. So you could easily present the whole log and then just dust it with some icing sugar, or you can also maybe put some nuts on top, or some like chocolate crumbs, or however you want to present it. But let me just wipe these sides down and then put it on again. So I'm just scraping down the sides. And then I'm just going to put that on for another minute. Beautiful. So I've got another minute. 37 degrees. Speed 3.5. And I'm actually going to add the icing sugar in as well. I'm just going to pour it through the top because I forgot to add it before I turned it on. But either way, it'll turn out. Now, the other way I want to show you to present them is by cutting it up and presenting them in little bites like this. So they're just dipped in chocolate, and it's beautiful. Like you can serve them like that, or put them on a plate like that, and people can grab them and actually eat them like that. You can leave them plain, or you can, like I showed you, that one had some different nuts chopped up on it. You could put like beautiful edible flowers in it. You could do so many different things to present it. I just think it's a little bit nicer when you present it like that. Obviously a little bit more decadent as well, but I think it's a really nice treat to be able to gift them to people like that. So I'm going to show you both ways. That's what we're making today. So mosaic roll. If you're jumping on live with me, make sure you say hello in the comments. Now this recipe is not on my blog yet. It's it's a Beauty Family recipe that we've shared out with a couple of other Thermomix people, and it was many years ago that we shared it, and I came across this tip that my dad was actually telling me about, how I should serve it when I was making it one day, and so I thought I'd share it with you guys now. And I'll keep going with this, and then we'll chat a bit more in a second, hey? Now, let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to set aside the meringue. Now, I'm going to put it in my large bowl, because at the end, everything's going to get mixed in this big bowl. So I'm just going to take out my butterfly. And then you can see the meringue is just a really simple meringue. It's very small amount, but it just makes it a little bit more fluffy at the end. Because I'm going to melt my butter. Sorry, I have to get my head back on then. So I've just got cubed butter, and make sure you chop it up a little bit so it actually can melt. And then I'm just going to add it to my bowl. And then give that one a melt. So I'm melting it for just a couple of minutes at 60 degrees, speed 2. That's going to start melting now. So now we've got that on. And let me show it to you for if you've just jumped on live. We're making salami. It's a chocolate salami. It's called Mosaic because it sort of has a mosaic pattern. So you can see that there. It's like an actual log. It actually looks like a salami. But once you decorate it, it looks beautiful. And then what I'm going to show you after that is how to just cut it up and coat it and make it into some beautiful bite-sized sort of portions. What do you think of that, guys? Does it look pretty? That's just got basic nuts on it, but like I said, you could put anything you want on there, or like serve it plain, or do a mixture of like white chocolate and normal chocolate, or dark chocolate, or however you want to present it. But I just think it's a nice way to present them and give them out. And it's a nice treat, especially if you had like a party or something. I think the kids would like to pick it. So let me run back through the ingredients because I know I quickly got it on so that we could chat a bit more when all these sort of longer steps are happening. So I had 300 grams of shortbread biscuits. I just use like an arrowroot biscuit, or you can use any like malted milk sort of type of biscuits. Then I had 2 eggs. Now I've separated the eggs. I beat the egg whites with a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of sugar. Then I added 50 grams of the icing sugar as it was mixing the second time. And now I'm just melting my butter. And then once that's melted, I'm going to add 20 grams of cocoa powder, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and those egg yolks that I had separated from the other eggs. And then I'm just going to blend that up. I'm going to check if this is finished. Yeah, that looks beautiful. So let's do that next step. Now, I'll add the, like I said, the cocoa, the icing sugar. Let's just add it all in. Bit of a mess cook I am. Egg whites, vanilla, extract, or whatever you want to use. And then I'm just going to blend that up for 1 minute. I better turn off the temperature. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape down the sides and then add the crushed biscuits, mix it again, and then add it to the meringue. That's as simple as it is. Very, very quick and easy, and it turns out beautiful. And don't worry that the biscuits aren't chopped too much or not enough, or you don't want them to be a powder because you still want that little bit of texture in there, because if they're too small, you won't get those textures where you like the nice biscuit so that you get a little bit of a crunch when you eat it. This is mixed. We'll just give that a couple more seconds. I'm getting impatient, so I'm just going to mix it at a higher speed for a shorter amount of time. I'm good at doing that, aren't I? That should do it. Awesomeness. So now let's add the biscuits in. Fantastic. Oh, everything's going crazy on me today. Here we go. Did it all come out? Yep. And then I'm just going to quickly blend that up. And actually, I'm not going to put it into reverse. Usually I put this in 15 seconds reverse, speed 1. But I'm not going to do that because I wanted to chop the biscuit just a little bit more. Just a little bit more it needs. So you just want to make sure the biscuits are really nicely coated so that the chocolate goes everywhere. Beautiful. That's it. Let me show you that. See that? That's all it needs to be. See how it's just coated? It looks a little bit weird at the moment, but once you add it in and fold it in, so add it to your meringue and literally you're just going to fold it in. All right, beautiful. Add that in. Let's fold this all together. So you just want to sort of fold the meringue all over so it's nicely mixed in. And then I'm going to show you how to roll it up. I'll give you a trick there to make it easier, because I know some people get a little bit confused with this. And if there's any big pieces, just hammer it with your spatula a little bit. But honestly, it doesn't really make a difference, because once you chop it up, it's going to get cut with the knife anyway. You just want to make sure the chocolate's evenly coated and mix through a bit. And that should do the trick. Beautiful. Now, let me show you this. See, it's just sort of mixed through. It's like gone a little bit lighter. That's all it needs to be. This is just like Glad wrap on my bench, okay? And I try to get a really long piece so that if I create these, I can make them of a nice size rather than like too thick, because you could make it really thick if you put it in a pan. So in my instructions, you can just put it in a pan, put the plastic in there and then put it inside. But when I'm making a really long roll, I sometimes just do it on the bench. So let me put that in so I can show you how I do it. So I just pour it. This bowl's really heavy. So I'll put it in like the middle and just like a snake sort of thing, but leave a little bit on the edges. You need a little bit of room on the edges. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to roll it out. And make sure the biscuits are all the way through and you haven't just got liquid, because otherwise you're going to get pieces without enough biscuits. And just try and get out as much as you can. All right, easy as that. Okay, so you can hopefully see that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it so that it's covered on both sides. You can double Glad wrap this. I'm not going to, just because it's on the video. But then what you do is once you've double Glad wrapped it, grab the ends like this. Okay, so make sure the top is actually sealed, because otherwise it's just going to go everywhere. That's why I like to double seal it, but I won't today. And then just roll it. You've got to try and push it all together so that it rolls. It creates sort of like a bubble. Eventually, you will get it to a point where it rolls. See how now it's starting to roll? See how it's turning into because the ends are starting to go together, just makes it easy to sort of roll. And that's how you sort of make it into that little sort of tube thing. So you get the actual round sort of size. That's how I do it. I'm sure there's plenty of ways, or you could just chuck it in a tin and you could put baking paper down and then it will just come straight out once you have it in the oven. But I just like the round shape so that I can do these sort of things, and it's just how we serve this. But yeah, I would set this in the freezer. You can set it for just a couple of hours if you're going to serve it as a log. If you're going to cut them up and put the chocolate on top, you definitely need to set it overnight. And now I'm going to show you how to do the chocolate bit, because I know it's going to be a little bit confusing. Let me get the log. So I kept a bit of the log so that you could see how it's really easy, but just in case it helps you to do the process, I've just want to show you this step. So I just cut them thinly because it is very sweet and you just don't want too much. And it's actually better to use this log straight out of the freezer. So mine's a little bit soft now because it's been sitting out while I'm doing the video. I'll just cut a couple of pieces so you can see. And so it's as simple as that, okay? So you just cut them, and then this is what I'm gonna put into the chocolate. So I melted the chocolate in my Thermomix, and then I put it in a bowl. To keep the chocolate warm, I've just put a bit of another bowl underneath with some hot water underneath, just so the chocolate can stay warm while I was doing the video. But usually if you do it straight through the Thermomix, it should be, if you melt it in the Thermomix, it should be fine. Those instructions are already on my website if you don't know how to melt chocolate in your Thermomix. Really, really easy. If you want a thinner chocolate, because I've left it nice and thick, if you want it to be thinner, add some like kofa, or you can add coconut oil if you don't mind having the coconutty flavor, or you could even add like the coconut butter, or just something to help it thin out a little bit. But kofa is probably the one that doesn't have the flavor of the coconut, and more commonly used. Or even some cream. You could use some cream and just cook that through and thin it out. But yeah, really easy. So I literally would just like, because it's a little bit melted, I'm just going to pop it into the bowl and then use some forks to turn it over. And then just let it drip. As long as you've coated all the sides. I'm just going to coat the top a little bit more. So just use your forks to do that. And just push off any excess so you don't have too much chocolate on there. Definitely use this out of the freezer because it melts super quick. As you can see, my chocolate's hot, so it's melting it. Okay, so once it's dripping it, see that dripping? You can just put that straight onto some baking paper. I'm going to move this over now. Just give me 1 second. I'm hoping you guys can see this. But you can see it there, right? The edges need a little bit of fixing at the moment because the chocolate was so hot, it's melting it. Just fix it a little bit with your fork. And that's it, guys. As good as that. And then if you want to add your nuts or anything so it has some sort of texture or something on it, this is when I would add it. Add it while it's still wet and still soft. Otherwise, it obviously won't stick. And then I throw this on a tray and shove it in the freezer. Again, leave it until it goes hard and you're as good as gold. Just use some baking paper so you can wrap them and they can hold it so it doesn't melt on their hands when they're eating it. Well, you can do whatever you want, but that's just an idea of a way to serve it. Hopefully that's some ideas for you of how to make these logs into little bite-sized pieces. Hopefully you like that. In case you've just jumped on, I just want to show you the finished product. It was just a mosaic rolls, which you can see, which is all the mosaics from the biscuits. An awesome little treat. It is a sweet little treat. I hope you like it. If you go to Greece, this is definitely one that you'll be eating on the Greek islands, on the beach. Definitely one you have at one of the coffee shops there. It's just always at a coffee shop. The good coffee shops have them. So I hope you like the recipe. Please leave a comment if you watch the video and make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. I've shared the link. Thanks, guys. Thanks for jumping on with me. I'll chat to you soon. Bye.